I remember the first night I thought Ava was perfect. She looks incredible tonight, my mom said, eyes sparkling as she adjusted Ava's hair. I told you she's perfect for our family, Dad added. Sipping his wine, I smiled across the dinner table, feeling that warm, silly pride bubble up. Yeah, she really does. Ava caught my gaze and grinned. That smile on this charming made my chest tighten. You're staring again, she teased. Just thinking, I muttered, trying not to sound obvious. You're cute when you're quiet, she whispered, reaching for my hand. I let her. Liam, sitting next to me, leaned closer. Be careful, man. Don't let the perfect act blind you. I laughed nervously. What act? He smirked. I'll tell you later, just watch. At first, I brushed it off. I wanted to trust her. I wanted to believe my parents' praise. Everything felt right, until her phone buzzed. The first time, I didn't think much of it. Work, probably. But then it buzzed again, and again. She slipped her hand under the table, answering quickly. Sorry, just a work thing. Everything okay? I asked, trying to sound casual. Yeah, she said, a little too fast, too eager, just work stuff. I nodded, but a strange feeling settled in my gut. Dinner continued. Laughter echoing, but I started noticing little things. The way she glanced at her phone when she thought no one was looking. The small smirk she tried to hide. The times she disappeared from the room for a call. Ryan, you've been quiet all night, Liam said, nudging me. I'm fine, I replied, forcing a smile. Just enjoying the evening. Mom beamed at Ava. You've made him so happy. Truly. I glanced at Ava, searching her face for anything and anything that could explain the unease curling inside me. She caught my eye and smiled again. Perfect. But something wasn't right. Later, when the lights dimmed and my parents were busy in the kitchen, Ava leaned close. You're thinking too much, she whispered, brushing a strand of hair behind my ear. I guess I said, it's nothing. She laughed softly. See? You worry too much. I'm right here. Her words should have reassured me, but they didn't. I caught her phone buzzing again. This time I glimpsed a name I didn't recognize. She answered quickly, whispering. I felt that twist in my stomach, the one you get when something's off, but you can't prove it. Everything okay? I asked, pretending casual concern. Yes, she said, a little too firmly. I nodded again, forcing myself to believe her. I wanted to. I wanted to trust her smile, the warmth she carried. The way my parents looked at her, like she was the missing piece of our family. But as the night went on, my mind kept circling the small inconsistencies, the secretive glances, the disappearing for calls, the little lies she hadn't meant to tell. I realized something that night. The world could see perfection. I could see cracks. And for the first time, I felt the shadow of doubt. I didn't mean to hear it. Ava's phone buzzed on the kitchen counter. While I was grabbing a glass of water, I paused, thinking it was another work call. But then I saw her laughing softly from the living room. Curiosity or maybe instinct made me glance at the screen. A voice note. The name displayed made my stomach twist. Mark. I froze. My hand hovered over the counter as the tiny play button glowed. I knew I shouldn't, but I pressed it anyway. Hey, I can't stop thinking about last night. Ava's voice whispered. You were amazing. I wish you didn't have to know. My chest tightened. Last night? No, I muttered under my breath. No, that can't be real. The voice note continued. Laughter, teasing, intimate words I never imagined hearing from her. I told him I was stuck at work, but I was thinking of you the whole time. I can't believe how perfect you are. My hand shook. I sank to the floor, heart pounding so hard I thought it would burst. I barely heard Ava calling from the kitchen. Ryan, are you okay? Yeah, I croaked, my voice trembling. Just dizzy. She came closer, eyes concerned, but I could barely look at her. You sure? You look pale. I'm fine, I said again, trying to steady myself. Her smile didn't reach her eyes. You're acting strange. Did something happen at work? I shook my head. No, it's nothing. Inside, everything was collapsing. Every lie she'd ever told me replayed in my mind the late nights. The sudden meetings, the excuses I had swallowed without question. Later, we were alone in the living room. I couldn't hold it anymore. Ava, who's Mark? She blinked at me, surprised. Mark, what are you talking about? The voice note. I shouted, my voice cracking. I heard it. You're lying to me? Her expression softened, almost pitying. Ryan, you misunderstood? That's not what it sounds like. Not what it sounds like. My hands shook. You called him last night. You laughed with him. You said I didn't have to know. She sighed and sat beside me, touching my arm gently. I didn't want to hurt you. I swear you're overreacting. It's complicated, but it wasn't about you. I was just talking. You misheard? Misheard? I laughed bitterly, though tears threatened. You think I'm stupid? You lied to me every time you said you were stuck at work. I trusted you. She looked down, silent for a moment, then forced a small smile. I know, and I'm sorry. I didn't mean to break your trust. You have to believe me. I don't know what to believe anymore, I whispered. Everything I thought we had, it's a lie. Her fingers brushed mine, but I pulled away. Stay away from me, I said quietly, voice shaking. I need to think. She reached out again. Ryan, please. But I stood, shaking my head. No, I can't. Not now. Not ever. I went to the balcony, breathing in the cold night air. My hands were numb. My heart was numb. The woman I loved, the life I imagined with her, had crumbled in seconds. And somewhere deep down, a dangerous thought began to form. She needed to pay for this. I looked back through the glass at her silent figure in the living room. She was still smiling, still calm, still pretending. I clenched my fists. The perfect life, the perfect smile. All illusions. I wouldn't let it stay that way. I didn't answer my phone all morning. The messages piled up, mostly Liam. Ryan, you okay? Haven't heard from you? Call me. Don't ignore me. Something's wrong. I can feel it. Meet me for coffee. Now. I stared at the screen, my chest tight. I didn't want to talk. I didn't want to see anyone. Ava's smile, her lies, the voice note it all played on a loop. I swallowed hard and finally typed, not today. By afternoon, Liam showed up at my apartment anyway, knocking insistently. Ryan, open up, man. You're scaring me. I sighed and opened the door. I don't want to talk. He stepped in anyway, sitting on the couch like he owned the place. You can't shut me out. Not now. I know what she did. I shook my head. You don't. Nobody does. I saw her texts, he said calmly, sliding his phone across the table. She's been hiding things for months. Mark isn't the first. She's careful, but I pieced it together. I stared at him, disbelief mixing with anger. Months? Are you serious? Everything. Everything I trusted gone? Yeah, he said. And she's good at hiding it. Perfect little act. But I knew something was off the first time she made you cancel plans because of work. I ran a hand over my face. I keep replaying it. Her smile, her excuses. I thought I was imagining things. You weren't, Liam said. And you need clarity. Do you confront her? Do you make her regret it? Or do you disappear? I laughed bitterly. Disappear? It's not that simple. Every corner of my life, she's in it. Parents, friends, even my own routines are tied to her. He leaned closer, lowering his voice. Then you have to be strategic. You can't just yell or storm out. That's what she wants. Control. I trusted her, I whispered. I believed every word. Yeah, and she used that, he said. But you're smarter than she is. You'll figure it out. Later, I saw her sitting on the balcony, sipping tea like nothing happened. She waved at me casually. My stomach twisted. How can she act like this? I muttered to myself. I remembered the way she whispered to Mark in that voice note. The laughter, the lies. She's a master manipulator, I told Liam when he called later. Exactly, he replied. And that's why you have to be careful. You can't let your emotions lead you. You need a plan. I sank into my chair, staring at the wall. My world was fractured. Every memory, every word, every touch felt tainted now. I was angry, humiliated, heartbroken, and terrified of what to do next. But in the chaos, a thought started forming. I wouldn't be naive anymore. I wouldn't be blind. I had to see this clearly, every piece. And maybe, just maybe, I could turn this betrayal into something she never saw coming. I couldn't sit there feeling sorry for myself anymore. Something had to change. Liam, I need your help, I said over the phone, pacing my apartment. I'm not just going to sit here while she lies to me. What are you thinking? He asked cautiously. Evidence, I said. Texts, photos, recordings. I need proof of everything. Be careful, he warned. Once you start, there's no turning back. I know, I muttered. I'm past turning back. The next morning, I followed her routine quietly. Every meeting, every call, every time her phone buzzed, I noted it. She laughed at something Mark said, whispered replies, excuses she could never use on me. Each moment made my chest tighten, but I felt alive, focused. Later, I called a coworker of hers. Hey, Mia, quick question. Did Ava mention anything about staying late last week? Mia hesitated. She said she had a meeting, but she wasn't there for most of the afternoon. Why? Nothing. Just curious, I said, keeping my voice casual. I could tell I'd caught her in a small slip. I thanked Mia and hung up, heart pounding. One tiny crack in Ava's armor, but enough to give me momentum. That evening, confronted the pile of screenshots, text logs, and recordings I'd been collecting. I spread them across my desk like a map. This is it, I whispered to myself. Everything she tried to hide. My phone buzzed. A message from Mark. Did Ryan notice anything? I smiled coldly. You're scared now, aren't you? I muttered, rereading her messages to him. She hadn't thought this far ahead, Liam called. You okay? I feel alive, I admitted. Every lie, every secret, it's all here. I can see it. And she doesn't know I know yet. You're playing a dangerous game, he said. I know, I said, staring at her texts. But she started this. Karma will handle some of it. I'll handle the rest. I watched her that night from a distance, seeing how naturally she acted with Mark, her laughter light and careless. But I noticed the hesitation when she thought I wasn't paying attention. Oh, crack. A tiny hesitation. I felt a thrill I hadn't felt in months. Power, control, not over her, not yet, but over the truth. She couldn't manipulate me anymore. I'll be ready, I whispered to myself, voice steady. Every lie has a price, and I'm going to make sure she pays for hers. Mia had unwittingly given me pieces. Mark was panicking silently, and Ava, she had no idea her perfect act was about to crumble. I leaned back in my chair, hands trembling slightly. The plan was simple. Observe, collect, wait. Let her mistakes pile up. Let karma start its course. And when the time came, I'd be ready to orchestrate the consequences she deserved. For the first time in weeks, I slept knowing I wasn't powerless. I waited until everyone was in the living room, my parents. Liam, even a few friends before I spoke. Ava was there, smiling like nothing had happened. I took a deep breath. We need to talk, I said, voice steady. Her smile faltered. Sure, what's wrong? I held up my phone, swiping through the screenshots, texts, and recordings I'd collected. This is what's wrong. Every lie, every excuse, every time you told me you were at work false. She blinked, eyes widening. Ryan, you lied, I cut in sharply. You lied to my face. Every single time. And I found out. She laughed nervously. It's not what you think. You're misunderstanding? Misunderstanding? I laughed bitterly. You called him, you laughed with him, you whispered to him, and you told me I didn't need to know. Explain that. I was confused, she stammered. I didn't mean to hurt you. Please, Ryan, you have to believe me. I shook my head. Believe you? I trusted you. I gave you everything. And this, I waved my phone, showing the evidence. This is what I got in return. Mom gasped. Dad's face turned red, but Liam nodded at me, silent encouragement. Ava's facade began to crack. I didn't think you'd ever see. I never meant for anyone to know. You never thought. Or you never cared. I demanded, my chest tightening. Tell me the truth. Her eyes filled with tears. I cared. I swear I did. But it happened. And I couldn't stop. You couldn't stop lying, I said quietly, almost to myself. That's the problem. You didn't stop. My parents looked between us, shock etched on their faces. Ava, is this true? Mom asked softly. She nodded, unable to speak. The room went silent, except for my rapid breathing. I stepped closer. Do you see now? This isn't about guilt. It's about consequences. Every action has one, she whimpered, sinking into the couch. Ryan, please. Don't do this. I love you. I shook my head, my own emotions tangled. Love? You don't know what love is? You only know manipulation. You trusted her. I did too. And now you see. Not just words, but actions. Mom's hand covered her mouth. I can't believe this. Liam put a hand on my shoulder. You did the right thing. She can't hurt you anymore. I looked back at Ava, feeling a strange mixture of triumph and emptiness. She was exposed, broken, yet part of me still felt the ache of what I'd lost. Ryan, what are you going to do now? She whispered, voice trembling. I took a slow breath. I'm going to walk away. I've reclaimed my dignity. You've lost yours. That's enough. She stared at me, disbelief and fear in her eyes. I could see it, the power shift. The moment I stopped being hers and started being myself. I didn't need to yell. I didn't need to humiliate her. Silence would do it better. The evidence, her tears. Our parents' faces, they spoke louder than any words I could force. I turned to leave the room, head held high. Liam followed silently. My parents watched me, a mixture of pride and sorrow. Ava sat there, broken, and I realized something important. Revenge isn't just exposing someone. Revenge is reclaiming yourself. I didn't need to act. Karma had a way of moving on its own. Ava's phone rang constantly at work, but no one answered. Texts went unread. I heard from a mutual colleague that her latest project had been reassigned because of mismanagement. She's losing it, Liam said over coffee. People are noticing she's unreliable. I nodded, sipping my drink. I don't need to touch it. Life does it for me. Still satisfying, though? He asked, smirking. More than I expected, I admitted. Not in a gloating way. Just relief. She can't hide behind lies anymore. Later, I saw her at a small gathering. A few friends whispered when she entered. One of them muttered something I couldn't hear, but the glance she received was enough. Her smile faltered. Ryan, she said softly when she noticed me. I shook my head gently. Don't. There's nothing left to say. She looked down, silence stretching. I could feel her tension, her embarrassment. I didn't gloat. I didn't approach. I just watched. One evening, I got a message from a coworker. Ava got called into HR today. She's, well, it's bad. I typed back simply. I see. It wasn't pleasure I felt. It was clarity. Watching someone face the consequences of their own choices without interference was strangely calming. I thought about the past months, how naive I'd been, how deeply I'd trusted her, how blind I was. That trust had shattered, yes, but it had forced me to grow. I was sharper now, cautious, but stronger. I spoke to Liam later. I used to think revenge meant hurting someone directly, but watching her, life unravel because of her own actions, that's far more powerful. You're changing, he said. I can see it. You're not the same guy who'd let someone manipulate him. I'm not, I agreed, feeling it in my bones. And I won't be again. I've learned what matters: my dignity, my choices, my boundaries. She lost sight of hers. Ava reached out once, sending a short message. Can we talk? I stared at it, thumb hovering. Then I deleted it. Some part of me ached, of course. She had been part of my life, my imagined future. But that part was gone. All that remained was the lesson and the strength I gained from it. I went for a walk that night. City lights reflecting in puddles. I felt lighter. Free. The betrayal had carved a space inside me, but it had also cleared a path. Karma didn't need my hand. Life had delivered justice quietly, without cruelty, and I had survived it, grown from it. I stepped into the park where Ava used to sit with her coffee, her favorite spot by the fountain. The bench was empty now, and the air smelled of rain and fresh grass. I smiled quietly. The memory stung, but it didn't hurt like it used to. Hey, man? Liam waved from the path, jogging toward me. You've been quiet lately. Good, quiet, or brooding quiet? I laughed. Better than brooding. Rebuilding? Rebuilding? He asked, raising an eyebrow. Yeah, I said, sitting down. Life, routines, myself. I can't let the past define me anymore. It taught me lessons, but now I choose what to carry forward. Liam nodded. That's good. You deserve peace. I'm learning, I admitted. I've started volunteering, reconnecting with old friends, and even picking up guitar again. You're serious? He laughed. That's awesome, man. Smiled. A real one this time. I realized I was chasing an illusion with Ava. Now I'm focusing on reality: people who value me, trust me, and respect me. Later, I met a few new friends at a small cafe people Liam had introduced me to. We laughed over coffee, shared stories, and for the first time in months, I felt safe. One of them, Sophie, smiled at me. You seem different, happier, stronger. I am, I said honestly. It took some pain to get here, but I've learned who I am and who I don't want in my life. Liam leaned back, smirking. See, I told you, man. You'd come out better than ever. Betrayal sucks, but it can make you bulletproof if you let it. I still feel the sting sometimes, I admitted, but I don't dwell on it. I don't replay the lies or her smiles. I keep moving forward. Walking home, I passed the apartment where Ava lived. Lights on, but I didn't feel anything: no anger, no longing. Just closure, a quiet understanding that I'd grown beyond her influence. I called Liam. Want to meet tomorrow at the park again? Same bench, but this time with guitars. He laughed. Absolutely, and I'll bring coffee. We'll make it our new memory spot. I looked at the sky, shades of orange and purple mixing with the city lights. This is me, I whispered. Stronger, wiser, and finally free. I can trust myself again. Some part of me would always remember Avon with longing. But as a teacher of lessons, I couldn't have learned any other way. And that was enough. I walked on, head held high, heart lighter, ready to embrace the life I built for myself, one full of honesty, trust, and real connections. The past was a shadow, but the future was mine. I walked through the quiet streets, the city alive but somehow softer now, calmer. People passed, unaware of the battles I'd fought, the lies I'd uncovered, and the trust I'd lost. A friend mentioned her name in passing: Eva. I didn't flinch, didn't feel anger, just a quiet acknowledgement that life had a way of balancing itself. She was unraveling. I could see it in the way people whispered, the missed deadlines, the strained smiles. And yet, none of that was my business anymore. I remembered the nights I lay awake, heart racing, wondering if I'd ever feel safe or whole again. Those nights shaped me, forged me in ways I couldn't have imagined. The heartbreak, the betrayal, they had been teachers in disguise. Liam called later, his voice cheerful. Want to grab a coffee? It's a perfect evening. Yeah, I said, smiling. I'd like that. I realized something profound as I hung up. I didn't need revenge. I didn't need confrontation. I had reclaimed myself, my choices, my dignity. My life was mine again. I paused by the fountain, watching the ripples spread across the water, each one reflecting the lights above. The past was there, but it didn't control me. I had grown, learned, and survived. That was victory silent, complete, and deeply mine. Ava's story was no longer a part of mine. I had moved beyond the lies, beyond the pain, and into a life defined by my own strength. And for the first time in a long time, I felt free, whole, and finally at peace.